I'll just say again, thank you guys so much for joining us. I think we're going to go ahead and get rolling, especially because we're going to be recording tonight and sending it out. And we also appreciate your time. What we're looking at tonight, what we're looking at doing is a two-part training. The first 20 to 30 minutes are going to be diving into human trafficking, what this issue is, why it exists, and how we believe that you can actually play a part in helping. We're going to be sharing real stories of things that have gone on with women that we have worked with personally. And what I love about this is it helps to just bring it to just make it so much more understandable, so much more tangible when you're hearing people's actual stories. And we're going to share hotline phone numbers. We are going to equip you. You're going to feel like you can walk away from tonight knowing exactly what to look for and knowing how you can help and who you would connect someone with in your own city or nationally. And then we're going to take questions. We're going to stop halfway through. We're going to take a couple questions. And then we're going to dive into just MISSIO, the story behind our brand, a little bit more about the products. I know a lot of you actually work at salons who carry MISSIO products, which we're so grateful for and excited about, or you are considering that. And so we are just going to do a quick brand and product overview with the last half. And that will be about the same amount of time, maybe about 20 minutes, and we'll take questions at the end wrap up within the hour. So, all right, well, here we go. We're going to go ahead and share our screen and begin. Come here.
We're going to get our tech assistant. Can we mute all participants? Yeah. Perfect. We're just going to mute everyone so that everyone can hear the video. Perfect. All right.
This chair is so much more than a chair. It's an opportunity for someone to believe something new about themselves. I began doing hair when I was 15 years old. It started as a hobby, and then I eventually became a professional stylist because I loved it so much. There was always something about it that just brought me to life. And I realized it's because it's an opportunity not just to give someone a haircut, but to bring them to life, to get to know them and to encourage them. And that was really powerful. I started taking this idea that I could significantly encourage someone from this place to people who needed it the most. These were women that were in homeless shelters or drug rehab centers at the time. And when I had the opportunity to work with victims of human trafficking for the first time, it really changed my life. These were women who had been abused. They did not believe in themselves anymore. I would go into undisclosed locations at times for safety reasons when a woman had just come off of the street and be able to give her a haircut or a manicure or a pedicure, and to bend down and wash someone's feet in that moment was powerful. To be able to hold their hands and convince them that there was someone else that cared about them and believed in them in that moment and that they had a future was incredible. It was in those moments that a vision was born. As I began to share all of this with my husband and others, we decided that we needed to do something, and that something so simple could lead to something so big. And so we started MISSIO, which is a hair product company that exists to inspire and empower a movement of people in the fight against human trafficking. So far, it's been quite the journey, as we've been working for 3 years to build all of the initiatives behind the scenes, and we've been working for a year with professionals to develop the products. The groundwork has been laid, and as we've gotten to work over the past few months, the response has been overwhelming. But this is a huge vision, and we cannot do it alone. We invite you to be a part of MISSIO by purchasing our products and spreading the word to your stylists and friends. What if purchasing a shampoo and conditioner could help rescue somebody from human trafficking in your very own city? What if stylists all over the country were inspired to use their gifts to help in the recovery process of these women? What if salon owners and their staff were trained and equipped to help identify potential victims of human trafficking in their very own spaces? We believe that MISSIO is you on an everyday mission. Imagine what we can do together.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
So that was our launch video that sent us on this journey 3.5 years ago, and it has been an absolutely incredible journey ever since. As you can see through that video, it was through my experience and our experience directly working with women. So the things that we're going to tell you, the things that we're going to teach you are not things that we've read through social media. They are not things that we've seen on a headline. They're not even things we've necessarily studied in school. They are real life experiences and stories that we have heard from new friends that we have made along this journey, as we've had the opportunity to serve them, as we have had the opportunity to work with them, and just to love them through using beauty as a tool. And so we are excited to dive in. Mary is actually going to come and lead you through the first half of our training, which will be purpose training. And during this time, you guys are welcome. We're going to keep you guys on mute, but you are welcome to type in any questions that you might have in the chat box. And then once she wraps up, we will also be answering some of those questions as well.
Thanks. Yeah, so we're going to dive in, and this is our first time doing this through a computer, so I love seeing faces, but yeah, interact with us. If you have questions, write them down on a piece of paper to come back to, or use that chat box and we will get to it at the end, so we won't forget you. And we are just going to get started. Okay, so what is human trafficking? Human trafficking is a form of modern day slavery in which traffickers use force, fraud, or coercion to control victims for the purpose of engaging in commercial sex acts or labor services against his or her will. So we're going to break that down because that's a big definition. But globally, it is estimated that there are between 20 and 30 million people presently enslaved in sex trafficking or labor trafficking, and this generates almost $100 billion internationally, and right here in the US it is a $32 billion industry. So this is an industry that is making a lot of money, which only fuels the issue going on in our country. The two major types of trafficking are labor trafficking and sex trafficking, and today we are mainly going to focus on sex trafficking. So in sex trafficking, people are being controlled. They are being controlled physically, mentally, or emotionally. So that's really important. It's not just physical control. It is mental and emotional. And they are forced into providing sex acts by those who then are obtaining something in return, money or something else. So someone is controlling another person in order to profit themselves, and the way that they are making that profit, or they are forcing them into providing sex or sex acts for other people in order to make a profit off of that. So there are 3 types that we talked about earlier in the definition of human trafficking. This can look so many different ways. And I think that's one important part of our education, is to kind of break down the stereotypes or things that come to mind when you think about human trafficking that might be a reality, but also make sure that people are aware of what it looks like kind of across the board, because it is a very elusive issue that affects all different socioeconomics. It affects all races, gender. It is prevalent in every society. And so we want to make sure that we have the understanding so that we can raise awareness and then help be a part of making a difference. So the first way is force. And I think this is the way that most people might think of human trafficking. In America, the movie Taken is kind of what a lot of people just assume human trafficking looks like, that it looks like going abroad and being thrown into a van and then being forced to do something that you didn't want to do. And that does happen. That happens here, but not necessarily as much as it might happen overseas. But force is when they are constrained, confined, and maybe there is some infliction of physical violence, rape, etc. on victims to control them physically. Again, it is all about control. So does that happen in the United States? Yes, it does. But that is not the only picture here. And that's almost kind of the easier ones for our minds to wrap around, that could happen, even if we don't want to face the reality that that's happening here. I think that's kind of the only picture of human trafficking that is painted, at least by like Hollywood, in America. So the second way is fraud. This is where it comes into mental or emotional control. Traffickers may use false or deceptive offers of employment, marriage, emotional, relational manipulation, or promise of a better life. So we have worked with women that this is their story. There was a young woman from Russia that moved to America kind of in this pursuit of the American dream, to live in America, to pursue her dream. And she found a job online that seemed like it was going to be great. She was going to be selling magazines for a company. She didn't know many people, so she didn't know necessarily how to find a credible workplace, but from the outside looking in, this was a great option. She shows up, it still seems pretty good, but then within a couple weeks, all the pieces start falling apart, and she finds herself completely deceived. And that employment of selling magazines then turns into selling her body, and they have control over her because they have completely deceived her and now have her passport and are the only people that she knows here. So then she doesn't even know where to seek help. And so that story is not far off. That has happened here in our country. Emotional, relational manipulation. The amount of stories we've heard of my boyfriend who was so loving and bought me all the things and took care of me and told me he loved me. And then years and weeks and months, and the timeline looks different for everyone. He took me somewhere and dropped me off and said, "You owe me, and this is what you're going to do, and you have no choice." And so the emotional manipulation of that, to entrust someone with yourself, to then be forced to do something that you don't want to do, puts you in a place where you feel like you can't escape. Marriage. We had a woman who had children had kind of a hard story, thought that she found Mr. Wonderful and he was providing for her and taking care of her. And years into them getting married, he sent her on a plane to Las Vegas and said, "It is time for you to pay me back for everything that I've paid for you. And this is how you're going to do it." And so she found herself in a place she never could have imagined, and was just completely emotionally manipulated, or promise of a better life, which we've already discussed. So that's kind of where we want to break the mold of this just being this forced physical thing into the fact that real women are being manipulated emotionally, and men and boys too, and relationally when it comes to sex trafficking. So the third way is coercion. Traffickers may use threats of serious harm, physical restraint, violence against family members, deportation, turning someone into the police, etc. So if you think about that young woman's story from Russia, they had everything in their control to say, you can't leave. They had her passport. When it comes to immigration, if you are illegally here, they can hold that against you and say you can't escape. Like, we have everything. If they know your family, they can threaten you. Again, these traffickers prey on any type of vulnerability that they can find. They leverage their victims' vulnerability to create a dependency on them, for them to then get what they want from these women and these men and these boys and these girls all over our country. So that is just some couple examples of coercion. And human trafficking continues to exist and grow because it generates high profits for the trafficker, with a perceived low risk for the trafficker. So how can stylists and salons help? We believe that the vigilance of stylists and salon owners can increase the risk for traffickers and help reduce the victims. We believe in you. You're here tonight by no mistake. We believe in the power of being a hairstylist. You are immediately become a counselor, whether you want to or not. You are just entered into other people's stories and lives because they sit down in your chair, and it is an uninterrupted hour to 3 hours with this one person who most everyone, especially in this time, needs someone to just talk to. They need that face-to-face. There's an automatic trust that seems to exist in a salon chair. It is just so special. You are washing their hair, you are serving them, you are making them feel new, feel worthy, and just there's just this beautiful trust relationship that is just built. I mean, you're stylists, so you know that it is all about talking to people, and that you are not just doing hair, you are affecting lives, and you are a counselor for them. So we just believe so much in the stylist salon community, the beauty industry, and their ability to help fight this injustice, because it's within trusted relationships that people are going to share things that might be concerning, so that we can help break these cycles of injustice. So our goal as MISSIO is to educate, to increase community awareness and victim identification within the salon and beauty industry. So now that we've talked about those, let me see, I'm going to move these over. Sorry, my little screen was in the way. We are going to kind of talk about warning signs. So how can we identify victims? And this is just where I'm going to insert in. We are going to send you kind of a PDF version of our field guide, which has all of these warning signs on them, the definition of human trafficking. So don't worry. Don't feel like you have to write all these down. We're going to send this to you in a PDF. I see some people with their notebooks, which amazing. But we're going to send these to you, so you'll have them. But yes, how do we identify victims? We recognize the warning signs. And when I read these, not all of them may apply. Some of them might apply, and sex trafficking might not be going on. But all of these are a red flag for something or could be if added with a couple others, and are just things to be good on your radar when you're serving people in your chair. So avoiding eye contact. Someone with kind of low self-esteem or just hurt, or they don't want to open up, is not going to make eye contact with someone. Hypersexual behavior or large number of partners. If they're sharing with you too much information that you're like, wow, this doesn't sound healthy or even normal or good for you, that's just something to kind of tuck away in your mind, like, okay, maybe I'm going to ask some more questions into that. Depressed mood or flat affect, if they just seem kind of numb or just almost traumatized, there might be something that you would want to dig deeper into in your conversation with them. Anxiety or irritability, unpredictable moods, signs of drug or alcohol use would be another sign to kind of tuck away. Sorry. Evidence of controlling relationships, even within family members. So this is another thing about human trafficking. A lot of people think that human trafficking only happens with people that other people don't know, but a lot of times it actually is within family members selling family members, boyfriends selling girlfriends, husbands selling wives, aunts running brothels. I mean, it happens within family. And so if you just notice, like, their dad is always calling to pay for their hair, or their dad is always with them, and that goes into the next one. There's always a third party present when they're coming in. I know Lauren had a woman at a salon who there was just always a man looming outside the salon every time she came in. And he was in charge of paying for her services, which is the next point on that list: lack of control of own money or finances. If someone else is showing control in other areas of their life, there might be control going deeper into labor trafficking, sex trafficking. And so those are just warning signs to look out for. Inappropriate dress for the weather or situation, or suddenly has expensive clothes or accessories. There is money in sex trafficking, as we learned. And so again, it looks different in every situation, but for some women, that might be the way that they're emotionally manipulated, is they are given the gifts and the best of the best, and they are dressed to the T, and they were taken to get the works done before they're filming. That makes them feel special. And really, it's just a form of manipulation and almost like this abusive reward system for what they can get in return for doing something for their trafficker. Signs of physical or sexual abuse, if there are bruises on their body. And lower down on this list, you see unexplained or conflicting stories of those injuries. That would be something to dig deeper in, to notice, to just make a mental note, like, red flag, red flag. Again, this is just one of those things that as you're doing their hair, you just kind of want to be taking a mental note of things that you might, that might be out of the ordinary. The example I gave earlier of the woman who the man was kind of always looming and paying. She came in one day, and drugs and alcohol seemed to also be prevalent in some of the visits, but she came in with bruises on her arms. And when asked about it, she kind of just stumbled a little bit for words and ended up saying, like, she fell down the stairs. And things just didn't seem to add up. It didn't seem to match. And so with that, along with signs of drugs and alcohol, along with signs of just control within relationships, that was a situation that was a huge red flag to go ahead and report or do the action steps, which I'm going to share with you as we get farther along. But some other things might be suspicious tattoos or branding, for example, property of. I know that we have served women that one woman in specific had a barcode, tattooed across her forehead, which is just the most heartbreaking thing to see. She was property of someone being sold. Her body was being sold to make someone else profit. Thankfully, she was in service, getting the help that she needs to start a new chapter in her life. But those are things that you could and may see. And then anyone who's using language from the life, if they talk about a daddy or track, those are just things to note. So how do I gather more information? If you are hearing some of these things and you are concerned, the reality is what we talked about. You automatically are this trusted relationship, whether you know it or not. You are in a position where you are going to be the sounding board for them to share things that they might not share with someone else. They might not share with a doctor who is only there to kind of treat their medical needs. They might not share with a teacher because the teacher has so many other students, or they might be worried about what action steps she might take legally if you're working with an adolescent or a teen. But you, as this stylist doing their hair, are in a position where they just might open up to you and trust you in a way that they might not trust someone else. So we just believe that information shared in the context of a trusting relationship can be the most significant factor in helping rescue someone from human trafficking. So, sorry, I'm having issues with this mouse. Okay, I'm good. So what do you do next? If you're seeing some of these red flags, you're gonna want to just ask prompting questions to learn more about your client and their situation. These questions will be on this little PDF field guide, but this is not going to be outside the normal of what you would ask anyone that you're doing their hair. They're going to be things that you would just ask to know more about that person, like you naturally would do. So, oh, you're in the film industry. How do you like that? What are the people like that you work with? Do you like the people you work with? Have you had a good week? What did you do today? Tell me more about your family. Do you have friends? Are you dating anyone? What is he or she like? And then, of course, if they showed signs of physical abuse, you could ask them, how did you hurt yourself? You know, like that bruise wasn't there last time I saw you, or that scar wasn't there last time I saw you. Did you have surgery? What happened? These are natural questions that wouldn't put a red flag up in someone, but whatever their answer was would maybe put a red flag up for you to know, that then affirms all these little indicators that I'm feeling of like something might be off here. So that's what you're going to do. And when it comes to action steps, after you've had this conversation, you've learned more about them, you've learned their story, you've heard some things that maybe were a little concerning. Number one, always, you need to assess the situation. Is someone with your client? Is it safe to talk to them more in depth about what is going on? Or would it put you or them at risk? We never want to put you in danger because this is when money is involved. It is just important to take safety precautions. So if you ever believe you or your client are in immediate danger, you will call 911 right away. But for the most part, hopefully that is not the situation. You would just kind of assess the need. So in that example I gave earlier of the lady who the man was always there. At some point, he was outside, and Lauren felt like she could dig deeper and ask some more questions and let her know that she was here to help her to get her resources she needed. But that necessarily wouldn't be something that she would have brought up if he was standing right beside her. So assess the situation, know what's going on around. Number two, the beauty of this is we truly believe that empowering them, encouraging them is one of the most powerful ways. You don't have to have all the answers. You're not going to call the SWAT team to come into your salon. That's not what this looks like. They truly might just need someone who reminds them that they are worthy, that they are loved, that they are beautiful, that they're not alone, that they can pursue their dreams, that they weren't made to suffer abuse, if that's something they've shared with you. And maybe they just need someone to remind them of that and encourage them to help them believe in themselves, where a new passion comes up of like, wait, this isn't who I'm supposed to be. This isn't where I'm supposed to be. This isn't how I'm supposed to be treated. This isn't the type of job that I want to do. Whatever that is for that client, we truly believe that encouragement could be the easiest way for you to impact their life, to maybe change the next chapter. So empower, encourage. We have these cards that we send to our wholesalers. I don't know if you can see them, but they just say, you're loved, you're needed, you're beautiful, you're not alone. And we believe that about you. And then we also believe that about every woman that sits in our chair or your chair. Number 3, you're going to equip them. So this is as simple as giving them a card. Maybe it's this card that reminds, that encourages them on the front. And then on the back, you can write, the national hotline or the local hotline that I will share next, to connect them with the true help that they need to get out of their situation. That gives them the next step for when they're ready, for when they feel comfortable, they have what they need in that situation. So with Lauren's woman who she served, that had the man who was looming and the bruises and the conflicting stories, that story ended with Lauren looking at her when she had a free moment without the man looming beside her and saying, you know, like, I really believe that you are beautiful and you're loved and you're not alone. And if you ever feel unsafe in your situation, I want you to call the number on this card and they will be able to help you. And she looked at her and said, I know exactly what this is for. Thank you so much. And it was as simple as that. So we don't know if she called that number, but we know that she was equipped with it, that she could receive the help that she needed with professionals that could meet her where she was. So it's as simple as that. It is giving them, connecting them with a number that they can call if and when they're unsafe or need help right away. And I'll get to the numbers that you're going to use at the end. But number 4 for you would be to report, to confidentially, anonymously report what you have seen and heard to one of the phone numbers or websites that we provide. This is so important. The National Human Trafficking Hotline is open 24/7. It is open 7 days a week. It is in over 200 languages, and it is ready for you to call, to email, to text, to report anything. And this is an important step because you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have the entire story. They constantly have little files ongoing of new information collected on each individual or each situation or each city, that any information is helpful information. So if it is just calling and saying, I had a client today, I don't even know their name, but it was a woman that looked like this and she had this, it concerned me. I just wanted to report that anonymously. They will have that in their file. So then if someone else calls the next week, they can put pieces together. So just imagine you're reporting as a puzzle piece to this big picture that they can then utilize to help them make the necessary steps that they need to help rescue and prosecute. So you'll see on your screen, this is just an example. Our local hotline here in Wilmington, I know we have a couple here, is a safe place. They have a 24-hour hotline. That a local hotline is always incredible because they can get you connected to help right away, right where you are. And we can help you find one if you're not here. I know someone said Raleigh and Dallas. There are tons of resources, and we can help you find those numbers if you need help. But the national hotline applies to everyone. And like I said, 24/7, you can text tips, you can email tips, you can call and report tips. And it is such a great way to just help fight this simply. You just report what you saw. They don't need your name. They just take the information and they're going to keep building these files. So that is the numbers when it comes to reporting. An incredible resource that I know that everyone will want to know about is called Polaris Project. If you go there, they have so much information, current statistics on human trafficking. We're going to get to questions next. So I might bring that up to you, but that is also where you would go to search for a local organization to partner with in your community, to know their number, to pass on to people whenever you feel that need. So they're just an incredible resource for you. So that is our education. I know it's a lot. I know that some of that can feel so heavy and almost like you can't comprehend that that actually can happen. But I hope that you also see the beauty in what you can do, that you are already set up for the most beautiful success because you have chosen a career that loves people, that helps bring worth to people, that helps make people feel new about themselves. And so just by being you and just by serving people and giving people haircuts, just brings a whole new just way of encouraging them without you even having to find the right words or all the knowledge. So we're so grateful for you. We're so grateful that you have chosen the beauty industry, and we hope that this equips you a little bit more, starts your journey in knowing more about human trafficking and how you can be a part. So if there's any questions, I'm gonna unmute everyone, but I'm also gonna check the chat box and just see if anyone entered it in. I just want you to feel free to pop in and let us know what questions you have. So let me get this. I can't see the mouse. Hey, Catherine, can you come help us? My mouse is non-existent. It's hiding.
Unmute everyone.
Yeah.
Let's see.
See, you can't see it. Just have to guess where it is. Okay, perfect. We're gonna unmute you all. So just chime in, and if you hear someone else talking, we'll just wait and take turns. But I know that there might be lots of questions. Did you unmute everyone? We're trying. Sorry.
Can I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah. We're gonna. I know, I told you, the mouse is like, where is it? While we're trying to figure this out and we can't hear you, feel free to use the chat box because we'll see those pop up and we can answer any questions that you may have. There we go.
Awesome.
Perfect. Okay, so let's unmute.
Or I guess they could do it them.
Maybe you can do it yourself.
Yeah, they can do it themselves.
Okay.
There we go.
Does anyone have any questions? See, none are in the chat box. If you don't have questions now, that's fine. You can always email to us. We're here to be a resource for you. So we want to always be here if you have anything that we can help you learn more about or know, point you in the right direction to get what you need. Anyway?
Someone asked, will this be offered again soon?
Will this be offered again soon? No questions, but I'm learning a lot. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay. Yes, we are going to try to offer this often. So our heart is really for the beauty industry, but we are also going to open this up to communities, to anyone. We want everyone to feel empowered to raise awareness in all communities to fight human trafficking. Anyone else? Some common questions I get are like, what are the stats on genders? So over 70% of cases are women, are girls. Over 50% are children under the age of 18. And foster care and homelessness are a huge contributor to vulnerability. So human trafficking victims, a lot of girls are from the foster care system. And another one that I get a lot is kind of like the average age that one might kind of enter human trafficking. In America, based on the statistics last year, it was between the ages of 12 and 14. And then also, when it comes to the numbers, like 20 to 30 million is an estimate, because this is such a thing that is in the dark that we can't see. So it's actually, they believe that's only a fraction of what's actually happening worldwide. So that's a hard thing to swallow, but our goal as MISSIO is to bring more things to light. And so we are not without hope. We are on a mission, and we hope that this just furthers you on your journey too. So I'm going to turn it over to Lauren next. Again, answer any questions that you then have. And thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, so now what we're going to do is talk a little bit more about MISSIO as a brand. I'm going to share this screen again so that you guys can see our mission. And then also, let's see, you're going to help me do this. Y'all, we are some real people over here just figuring this out as we go. Thank you so much for being part. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now you can see this slide. This is on our signs that we put everywhere. It's on the sign behind me. It's on the sign that's sitting in your salon. We carry MISSIO. And so this talks about our mission and how we are all about using beauty to help restore hope and fight human trafficking. And these are the three things that every single product purchase in our whole entire company supports and believe in. And they're all a part of my story, our story, and how we believe that we have the opportunity to make a difference together. The first thing that we do is we actually educate salons and stylists how to identify potential victims. You guys, coming to this training, signing up and learning this, you know, it's not just, I mean, education is so powerful, and we believe that education in the salon industry and in communities can actually change the game when it comes to victims being identified and people being helped for all the reasons that Mary was just sharing with you. So every single product purchase of MISSIO is just a creative way to help get that education out there all over the country. And, you know, we're not limited now. We're on Zoom, so practically all over the world or wherever we're allowed and enabled to share. The second one is we serve women who are at risk and in recovery from exploitation. That is, so much of our heart and our absolute joy to spend time with them. In fact, you guys, if you can see this salon chair right there behind me, this is our private studio salon that we have set aside. This is a little sacred space. It no longer serves normal clientele. Every single week, this chair behind me and this space is opened up for women who are in recovery or at risk of trafficking in our very own community. We serve them because they are the closest to us, but let me tell you, these women are not just from Wilmington, North Carolina. In fact, they are usually displaced and having come from some other city, from some other state, all over the country. We talked about real stories today. You guys, this is so incredibly fresh. The woman who is sitting right here was actually from Vermont. She had been brought to Wilmington by her boyfriend, who said that he was taking her to the beach and they were going to go on a vacation, and took her to the beach. And you want to know what ended up happening? She ended up being completely left alone in her hotel room. And she was supposed to meet another man who was supposed to take her to Charlotte, and she was going to be trafficked, her body used for his gain. And so the police ended up being able to intercept her because she had nowhere to go. She'd been left alone in a hotel room once this guy had gotten mad and left. And then, she had no idea that this was what she was walking into. So the police were able to come and get her. They were able to link her up with a local organization who is able to now house her and help her to just get back on her feet. And we had the opportunity today to give her a haircut, to spend time with her, to help her feel loved. And I'm telling you, to see the transformation that something as simple as a haircut can mean to these women, it is so incredibly powerful because it helps them to feel normal again. It helps them to be convinced that they are worth spending that kind of time on. It also just alleviates a burden in their life. They don't have money to pay for these kinds of things, but you better believe they want to be able to receive the same, cuts and color and things like that all of us do. And so it's absolutely incredible. And every product purchase affords us the opportunity to open our doors to doing that every single week. We also plug hairstylists in here to serve. This is kind of a newer thing. We're bringing it all back in-house. We used to be able to be out and about a whole lot, but we've kind of changed it up, and we're bringing hairstylists here to serve. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're local, reach out to us, and we'd love to tell you more about that opportunity. And then we also coach you guys. I've been able to have a call with some of you that are even on this call, and we just kind of go through the steps of how did we get started? Where would you get started? What would you do? What have we learned through the process of serving these women? And how can we set you up for success for doing that in your own community? We are so happy to do that if that's something that you're interested in as well. We love to coach and empower hairstylists to serve all over the country, and we've seen it happen over the last few years too. It's been really, really incredible. We also donate free products in those times. You better believe those ladies are leaving here with the new MISSIO products, and we also afford that to you guys if you are out of our area and wanting to do that as well. We would just get you those products that you needed or compensate you for those. And then we also give to 3 different nonprofit partners that are fighting human trafficking worldwide. And you guys, I have to say, it's been close to $20,000 collectively that we have been able to give as an organization to 3 different organizations, 2 that are local in Wilmington, North Carolina, that we work directly with the women, and 1 that is overseas who helps to rescue children at borders. And so it's incredibly meaningful work, and started by just serving and hearing these stories and loving these women and having a heart to do something about it. And then realizing a few years ago that something like a brand, something like a hair product that could help to fund the initiatives that we believed in, that we could put on people's shelves, that we could put in people's hands, that they could take home and use every single day, and allow it to be a part of, and allow them to be a part of making a difference with us. It's been such an incredible journey. And we're so grateful to have every single one of you a part of that as well. So I hope this gives you a better overview about MISSIO and the 3 different things that we do and that every single product purchase supports. And now what we're going to do is just a quick little overview of each of the products. Let's see if I can go to the next slide. Okay. Here's a fun little slide where you can just see a little layout of some of the products. We have 2 different shampoos, a classic shampoo and the gentle shampoo. Let's see if y'all can see those in the little screen here. One is for more normal hair. This is more just kind of deep cleansing to break through oil and buildup and dirt. It's the classic shampoo. Normal hair, or people that isn't necessarily color treated, teens, a lot of guys love this. People where there's a lot of buildup, it needs to break through that dirt and oil and get more clarifying clean, would be the classic shampoo. The gentle shampoo is more nourishing and hydrating. It is so softening to the hair. It kind of glides through the hair a little bit more. It is more like it's a gentler cleanser for the hair. We have a lot of people that will actually use both of these. They might be gentle cleansing throughout the week as their main shampoo, and then they use this to come in and really get rid of all that dry shampoo and dirt and oil and everything, once a week or every other week. We have some people that just have love the gentle. This is great for sensitive scalps. This is great for dry hair. This is great for color treated hair. This is great for anyone that just needs a little bit more care while they are washing their hair. And then also curl. And then we have some people that their absolute favorite thing has been to start to mix them together, which has been so fun to see. You just learn on this journey. But that is our classic and our gentle shampoo. And they have baobab seed protein, which is an incredibly nourishing ingredient. It helps to fight frizz, it softens, it even adds thermal protection as early as the shampoo. And the fragrance in these is a sun-soaked citrus scent. So it is bright and fresh. Many of you have probably sampled it or worked with it a little bit. It is so uplifting in nature. It's pineapple, bergamot, coral lily, white tea, really, really fresh. Most people, when you put this on their hair at the shampoo bowl, or if they were to put it on their hair in the shower, the experience is just so uplifting, fresh, and fresh citrus, which is actually proven to uplift the senses. So we love that even from the fragrance that is in the products, that somebody can have that encouraging and uplifting experience. Okay, I'm gonna keep going through here. Let me actually get out here so I can see the chat just in case. Okay. All right, next we have the conditioners. Am I still screen sharing, Catherine? No. I can just go back to it, I think. That'll look good. Okay. Next we have the conditioners. We have, these are called our glossing conditioners. There is a light version and a luxe version. This, I recommend the light version for fine to normal hair. Recommend the luxe for normal to dry hair. So again, if you have kind of that medium texture, you could use both. You could use the light on a day you're going for a lot of volume, that you don't want it to feel as sleek and as, quite as smooth. You could use the luxe when you're like, I want that extra hydration and care. They are very, very glossy and nourishing. They have that protein in them that I just talked about, the baobab protein. They have the same fresh, uplifting citrus scent, the pineapple, bergamot, lychee. They also have avocado oil, coconut oil, jojoba, shea butter, algae extract. Literally, the goodness of the earth is in these conditioners, and people usually describe them as heaven in a bottle. They love how it makes their hair feel, and you can really, really feel the difference at the shampoo bowl. So that's our conditioners. Then we have our styling spray. This is for a volumizing blow dry. It also has that fresh citrus scent. This is recommended for fine to normal hair types. It is strengthening. It has that same protein, the baobab protein. It provides thermal protection, shine, and volume. I spray it on my hair before I was to blow it dry, and it sets in a little bit of that just like good hold and a little bit of grit, so that my hair will have the memory hold that I would like. And this is a great, it's kind of like a medium finished product, great for everyday blow dries. It's not going to be super, super strong, but it's just going to give just the right amount of kind of everyday volume, thermal protection, shine, and hold that you might like as a prep product. This can also be sprayed on the hair and scrunched in order to embrace texture on anyone that already has a little bit of a wave in their hair. This will help to kind of embrace that texture and give natural wave. I like to call it a soft wave spray. We also have our styling cream, which is moisturizing. This one's more hydrating. So if you're looking for, if this is a blow dry cream that has thermal protection, but it is a little bit of this goes a long way, and it has more of like an oil and aloe base. So it's very, very nourishing and hydrating for the hair. This one has a golden sandalwood scent, which is the sun-soaked citrus fragrance that I talked about before, but then with an added layer of sandalwood and jasmine and vanilla. It's really, really warm and rich and inviting. And this one is so wonderful for smoothing frizz. I feel like it does 90% of the work in when you put it around the hairline, and work through damp hair before a blow dry, and then use a round brush and the tension in order to blow the hair dry, or at least to finish the hair. And this is a wonderful, wonderful product. Can be used on all hair types, but it's more recommended for people that need that extra hydration and moisture, which is going to be more like medium to coarse, curly hair types as well. We have an all-natural dry shampoo. This one is such a fun little product. It actually squirts out of the bottle just like this. You guys have played around with it. It's non-aerosol. It is all natural, even the fragrance. The fragrance is coconut, grapefruit, and mint. And the way this goes on is just kind of like this. It works into your root, or you can actually, people can put it into their hands and be able to work it in that way. This dry shampoo is buildable, it's brushable, it's matte. It definitely allows for you to wear your hair another day. People really like it with curl because they feel like it doesn't interrupt the curl pattern. And it's just a great, easy, fresh, clean little product. We have a texture paste, which is going to be great for guys and any short textured styles, as a medium hold and a matte finish, and a really bright, fresh bergamot scent. That's soy and beeswax based. And then the last one that we have is our newest product, which is a golden hairspray. This one is also a non-aerosol. It actually just has a super fine mist that squirts out of the top of the bottle. It has a golden sandalwood scent, which is that vanilla jasmine sandalwood scent. And it's almost like a texturizing hairspray. I sprayed it on my hair, on my curls before we got started, and it adds lots and lots of shine. It also has a thermal protection element, and it almost serves as a hair perfume on its own, which is really wonderful. Everything in MISSIO's line, actually, it's meant to be affordable luxury. So we believe that, we want this to be something that people can have great hair products and that they can, but also just afford to be able to keep them on their shelves and continue to make a difference with us. And so everything is retails in the 20s. It's between 24 and 28. Yeah, and really, I think you've heard just the story of our company. We're just passionate about making a difference and feeling called to that and wanting just a creative and beautiful way to do that. And so we're using affordable luxury hair products in order to allow people to be more and more a part of that story, from the stylist that decides to carry us to the salon owner that also does the same and it's getting into the hands of their clients, to the everyday, beautiful woman who just wants to have their purchase matter and be connected to something greater and help support efforts like this, getting education out there, serving women who have been, had their worth and their confidence just taken from them, and then also financially supporting other organizations that we believe in. So let's go to the next. I just have a quick little slide. You're welcome to, screenshot that. If you are often at this point in our presentation, people are just interested in a little bit more information. If you're interested in any of this info at all, we are happy to, you can screenshot this. We can also send it your way. If you want to reach out to us through the email address that we have been emailing you as well. We'd love to tell you more about retail partnership, or even answer any other questions that you have about the products as well. Okay, so now I want to see, are there any questions? And you guys are welcome to share about anything that you have heard tonight, anything that you have learned. Yeah, just any remaining questions we would love to answer. Share. Okay, did I get it? Let's see. Okay, this says, let's see. I think you already answered that one. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. I'd love to even hear one thing that you guys learned, or feel free to type in the chat if there's anything that you learned about the products, purpose, anything. Or you can be really brave and unmute yourself. Oh, I'm so glad, Amber said. I love this. Oh, we're so grateful to have you as a part. We hope that you just feel encouraged and yeah, we believe that, you know, it's not just about us sharing this information. Now that you know what you know, it is up to you to share. And you just never know what you might be able, a piece of information, something that you learned tonight that you're able to pass on to somebody else that actually could help to make a difference or get someone connected with help. And it says, where can I find these products? So we have an online store where we do sell direct to consumer, but if you work at a salon or in the beauty industry and are interested in wholesale partnership, we actually have packages available, and we work with hairstylists and allow, you know, have them be able to have the products on their shelves as well, and be able to sell them wholesale so that you guys can mark them up to retail price for your customers and clients as well. Oh, great. Thank you, Audrey, for coming. I love it. If you have any other questions about where you can find these products, let us know. Anything else? She said, great class. I have these and love using them every day in my salon. Yay! We're so grateful. That's awesome. I'll give you another minute. If you guys know, while you're still typing questions or sharing with us what you've learned, if you guys know of anyone that you think might be interested in anything that we shared tonight or anything that you learned tonight, please feel free to connect us. Our plan is to offer this type of a training you know, as much as it is, as people are desiring and would be willing to spend their Thursday night with us. So we are now creating a calendar for 2021, where at least monthly we will be hosting a training. We primarily focus on the beauty industry because we feel like we love talking to you guys. We love hanging out with you guys. We believe in you so much. And so you're a favorite, but we're also talking about opening it up to, you know, community members and just anybody really that is interested in learning more about this issue and how they can help and be empowered to make a difference with us as well. Okay, awesome. So Chassie says, great class. Let me know when the next is scheduled. I'll share on my Facebook page. That would be great. Oh, good. We're so glad. Thank you for, you know, supporting our mission, and we're so happy to have you guys as a part. We will also be sending you guys, or watch our Instagram. A great place to stay up with what it is that we're doing is to follow us on Instagram, because we'll always be posting about education. We'll also have a whole schedule. So that, and we'll email it to you guys. We'll send it to you guys so that you could then share the education schedule for next year as soon as that comes together too.
Yeah, and Amber, it says, I'm a student, but I'm thinking my classmates would love to take this. I'll pass along the info. So where are you a student? We'd love to know. We used to go into Cape Fear Cosmetology School and do this, but you know, 2020 has us getting creative. So we definitely would love to share with your classmates. Bayshire Beauty Academy in Bay City, Michigan. Awesome.
Great. And we're also, we've recorded tonight. So our plan, as long as all goes well, is to send this out and email you guys a link to this recording. And you are welcome to send that, to email that out to others as well.
Yeah, but it is really special doing it live. So it's amazing that it's going to be recorded, but we're excited to keep on doing these so that people can be live here with us to ask their questions that they may have. So yeah.
Great.
Is there anything else we missed?
All right, everybody, you have, and do they have it? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Catherine, do they have an email? Yes.
You should have your email.
Okay. So you have an email in your inbox that has two things. It has your field guide that Mary told you about, all that good information. And then it also has a link to a survey, quick questions. We just want to hear from you. We want to hear what you learned and find out if there's anybody else you're interested in sharing this with. and it would help us to improve and be able to continue to offer some great education opportunities to others in the beauty industry and communities. So you guys are awesome. Thank you
Thanks
so much for joining us. And this is not goodbye. We hope to stay connected with you for sure in whatever way.
And where should they go if they're interested in wholesale? Should they submit a form online or email? Or?
You guys can reach out to us however. I would say the easiest way for you is just to email back through to the email that is in your inbox right now. It should be from orders@missiohair.com. That's where our wholesale partnership team is working every single day. So we are happy to get you set up with any and all extra information that you are interested in. We have samples and packages and things like that available. And we don't just do this to sell the products. I hope you guys can tell we do this. The products are how we're able to do this. And so if this inspires you, it's just exciting to us to have more people that are willing to consider helping to make it happen. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a great night.
Happy Friday tomorrow.
Bye.